Hello and welcome. It's time for the Gavel. I'm Lanre Lasisi and I'm glad to be with you. Now, we're all aware that the focus of parliamentarians this week is their party primaries. So while the Senate sat for just one day, the House of Representatives, that was to resume on Wednesday, put off their resumption. But some matters were still considered by the lawmakers. The threat of an impeachment notice was a major point of interest as the week began. And why exactly did the House of Representatives put off its resumption? Now, that is the focus of our first report. After the confrontation between lawmakers and officials of the Nigerian police, the House of Representatives resolved to resume plenary on the 3rd of December 2014. It was a day a lot of Nigerians looked forward to, as crucial bills such as the Petroleum Industry Bill and the Medium-Term Expenditure Framework document are still before the National Assembly. But a day to the resumption, the clerk of the House of Representatives sent out a notice announcing a new date for the resumption of plenary. Some lawmakers say the new date is to allow lawmakers focus on party primaries.
And one of the reasons is that because most of the honorables now and the senators are having their primaries. They want all the parties to finish their primaries before we can continue with the business of the House.
As you know, yesterday was the APC primaries for the state assemblies, and tomorrow will be their gubernatorial primaries, while for the PDP will be for states that have not had their own state assembly. It's been proposed for Friday, while the House of Reps is Saturday, the Senate Sunday, gubernatorial Monday, and then we have our convention on the 10th, or 11th. So, and I'm sure they have their own primaries also lined up like that.
The concern of most Nigerians will now be the fate of most of the bills before the House. It's a concern the lawmakers try to put to rest.
Most of these outstanding things we have are before most of this committee, and the committee will still be working before the full resolution of the plenary on the 15th.
The issue of the budget, we expect that the day we're resuming, the budget should, come that week. And since we know that we took time off to conduct our primaries, we must also give time to attend to national issues. So that won't be a problem at all. In fact, we'll have to stay until we pass the budget before we go, or at least consider it, to a large extent before we vacate for Christmas holidays.
When the National Assembly resumes on that day, it will be interesting to see how much they're able to do before the year comes to an end. The threat of impeachment, that was the talking point this week as the lawmakers got set to resume plenary. But is there an impeachment plot? Well, that is the focus of our next report.
A federal lawmaker, Senator Abdulkadir Jajere, says some lawmakers are putting together plans to impeach President Goodluck Jonathan. Speaking in an interview with journalists, Senator Jajere said the lawmakers would raise the motion to impeach President Jonathan when the Senate resumes on December 16th. He said the lawmakers intend to impeach President Jonathan for breaching the Constitution by spending more than the amount appropriated for fuel subsidy, and also for what they described as his incompetent handling of the security crisis in the country. However, a federal lawmaker, Senator Ayogu Eze, told Channels Television that there are no plans to impeach President Jonathan.
By last week, there are 63 of us that have signed. I think my signature was the fourth, but I can confirm to you by the last week there are 63 signatures. But after this session, there are some people that have called me, they want to sign, and I'm going to also go and check the list.
Are they APC senators or PDP senators?
Well, one is an APC senator who was away doing campaign because he wanted to contest for the governorship of the state. He was away. The other person is a PDP senator.
I believe that this must be the tactics of a few people who are in the opposition, who are ill-prepared for elections, and they think that they can intimidate the party or the president out of this contest and possibly out of office. They should better go and prepare for elections and face the president in the ring. The president will not be intimidated, the party will not be intimidated, and I can assure you on my honor, there's no impeachment that will succeed on the floor of the Senate against the president. There's no such number. I've checked with my friends in the opposition, there's nothing like that. I've checked with our people in the PDP, there's nothing like that.
Responding, however, the senior special assistant to the president on public affairs, Ayogu Eze, said confrontations and strong disagreements are not an uncommon phenomenon in executive-legislative relationship world over. In a statement, he said, open quote, "We strongly trust and believe in the leadership of the present Senate and the unwavering patriotism and commitment that have been shown by the distinguished members, and we trust that ultimately it is this tendency towards true nationalism that will prevail in the Senate. It is our view that there are at present serious fundamental issues of national importance, such as winning the war against terrorism and stabilizing the economy in the face of dwindling oil revenue, which requires the full attention, commitment, and swift action of distinguished members of the Senate. We are of the opinion that all matters political can and will be resolved politically in the overall interest of our democracy and the well-being of our people." End of quote. Meanwhile, a lawmaker in the Federal House of Representatives, Honorable Peter Gumta from Borno State, has denied being among those who signed the impeachment notice against President Goodluck Jonathan. Speaking in Abuja, the lawmaker said he never signed any document to that effect and believes no PDP lawmaker signed that document. He intends to sue whomever is behind the reports as it amounts to political blackmail against his person.
I saw them in various newspapers, and I said, okay, whoever might have done this, I'm going to sue that person to court, because it's not a joke. It's a very heavy blackmail on honorable member that this group of these people who have sat down on maybe one angle and tried to write names of honorable members to blackmail them, I know it's a purported action which has been taken against honorable members. No honorable members, as I mentioned their names here, will put their hand to sign an impeachment letter against Mr. President. I know we love Mr. President. We belong to PDP. As a PDP member will never, ever be a party to impeach Mr. President. So, in a strong term, I'm dismissing and refuting these so-called names who has been written in various pages of the newspaper.
Now, this week, the issue on the lips of most people was the alleged plans by lawmakers to impeach President Goodluck Jonathan. Media report has it that some senators were leading the charge and the campaign and were gathering signatures from both chambers. Now, we put this issue out on Twitter and Facebook with the hashtag impeachment notice by lawmakers. What do you make of this move? On Twitter, Olukayode Olabanji says, unwise, they should allow us decide in February 2015. On Facebook, Gabon Fasin says the impeachment has no future. It's not genuine. It's parochial. Danjuma Gandhi says the impeachment move by the lawmakers is a very welcome development to our democracy because Mr. President deserves it. Well, those are just some of your views there, but this matter has not been resolved yet. You can still send in your views and comments to our email address, thegavel@channelstv.com. our Twitter account, twitter.com/GavelAbuja, and our Facebook page, facebook.com/GavelAbuja. Now we look forward to hearing from you.